Hello everyone, I played in Calling Toulouse last weekend and I thought I'd take you into my process of how I'm gonna reflect on the games I played. Spoiler alert, it didn't go really well for me, sadly. Can happen as well, but yeah, you can learn from your mistakes and that's what I'll try to teach in this video. So here was the metagame. Arachne Marionette, the most represented deck, KO, Vincent. So yeah, this meta was quite diverse, and there wasn't really one particular deck that was the most popular. Kind of cool to see all decks are below 10%. And yeah, Vincent, holy. I thought a lot of people would start playing Vincent, but never in my mind I would have thought 30 people would play Vincent, and she would be the third most represented deck overall. Insane. European metagame is kind of fast. So yeah, before I talk a bit more about the metagame itself and my predictions that I did last week, I just wanna take you guys through my run a bit and the deck list I used. So first of all, this was my run. As you can see, it didn't really go well. I went 3-4. I kind of went 3-3, but I conceded the last round because I knew I was already out. But yeah, I thought let's take you guys a bit through my run. I of course played Mario, as I alluded to in the previous video, since I just thought he was the best choice for the tournament. The list is pretty standard. I'll post a link in the description below. It's heavily inspired by Kashi's list. The only thing that I changed are like 3 Whittle from Bones. Like I said, I noticed a lot of people denying the graphene heavily, and that's very important for this deck that you get the graphene. So 3 Whittle from Bones is actually very good, since on turn 0 you have now more percentage chance to see a way to make your graphene, which is very good, since then you start with a graphene and you get to keep your mask, since you don't have to use it to transform into Orb Weaver. So the Whittle from Bones definitely were very good this weekend. Although I went 3-4, so but I promise the Whittle from Bones are good. Then I added Surgical. I don't know, I did it last minute. I thought I want something else than a blue Stains of the Red back, and I thought, whoa, Surgical can be pretty nice. Actually, it was funny that my opponent played Cut from the Same Cloth, and I revealed, and this would have normally been a blue Stains, but now it was a Surgical, so my opponent didn't mark me, which was quite funny. And then the sideboard went up to 3 Codex of Inertia, since it's good versus Verdance. Went up to 3 Amulet of Echoes, because I thought, yeah, I need something against Acilio. My friend Kashi got destroyed by an Acilio in his win and in, so that was sad, and I was like, I want to hate as much an Acilio as possible. And then my spice for this tournament, because I thought Vincent was gonna show up big time, I put in 2 Talisman of Cremation. It was kind of a funny story with this card. Like on the Friday that I had my flight, I was looking through my bulk, like moments before my train would go, so I didn't have a lot of time, and I was just searching for cards that would be good against Vincent, because before I didn't really have it. I was looking through my bulk and I was like searching for blues. I was like on Ripple Away, Siege of Solace, something like that. And I came across this card and I was like, that's interesting. It's blue, which you kind of want to pitch for the rune chance. And it has an interesting effect, because when you play a card from your banish zone, like Under the Trapdoor, or you roll into Trapdoor, so you play your trap from banish zone, you can name a card. And preferably against Vincent, you name Deathly Whale, because they have 9 copies. And then you destroy this and banish all the Deathly Whales from their graveyard, which puts them in the Blood Depth category, and they all take a lot of damage from it. So I didn't test this, but it seemed cool, and I just was looking for a blue. This was a blue, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. Hopefully I see a Vincent. So that's why I have the Talisman of Cremation in. I don't know if it's good, but it seemed interesting, and I got kind of bored with my deck, so I just put them in for fun, which is something I'll also allude to later. But yeah, my tournament run, as you can see, it didn't really go well. I missed day 2, which is normally a big failure for me, since I always want to make day 2 minimum. But yeah, didn't happen. So round 1, played Eriko Lancelot, played Syndra. I won the die roll. I went second, and in my turn I did a 13 damage turn with Savior Bloodshed, and I ended with an Arsenal and a Graphene, so it was like a crazy high roll. I won the game from there. Then second round I played against Dimitri Trichard. I think he played Fai. It was a very close game, since he won a die roll and he did a Rise from the Ashes into the Art of War card 2 turns in a row, so I was very behind, and at some point I was at 1, he was at 10, but I had a Codex of Frailty in my arsenal that I was banking on the whole time, and eventually I got a comeback turn with a Toxin and could barely squeak it out, so I was feeling good after that game. However, then I played Michael Koch, Fatigue Victor. I knew about Fatigue Victor before, but I thought he maybe was a normal version of Victor, so I left in some D-Reacts, which wasn't very good. Yeah, this game just felt like the most uphill battle game from the whole weekend to me, because it was so hard to mark him. He had 3 Fiddler's Greens, which is like the 1 block that heals 3 if the combat chain closes, on my Clave 3 turns in a row, and I really desperately needed to mark him because I had a Savior Bloodshed lined up. And he played like Healing Balms and Sigil of Solaces, and yeah, it felt like a very uphill battle for me, also because I rolled into Trapdoor when I got the mark, and Trapdoor versus Fatigue decks just does nothing. So yeah, it was a good strategy by him, because I think this is very good into Mario, very hard to win, and he was still living at 20 or something when I died. So yeah, that's the first thing that I do when I reflect on games. As you can already hear, like the first thing you go towards when reviewing games is like, how did the game go? Did you get lucky? Did you get unlucky? And this is super human to do, because yeah, it in the end is a game of variance. There is a luck factor in it, and sometimes it can definitely feel like you are fighting an uphill battle. I try to say it like that. But in the end, focusing on that doesn't really help you, because it's not something you can control. And of course, it's a very human side of you that you want to acknowledge that something is out of your control, but it doesn't help you, since you can't control it. So what I'm trying to say is that you try to look at the things you can control. And what I noticed with myself after the day, when I missed day 2, that I would get these thoughts in my mind again, like, oh, I got unlucky, and things happened that were out of my control. I played a bad matchup. I'll go to the other rounds later. This didn't go well for me, blah blah blah. But it doesn't really help me. But it is also hard, because on the day of the tournament itself, you worked very hard for it. You traveled for it. You had a lot of nerves maybe coming into the event. So there's also a lot of emotions that come by it. So the main thing that I try to do is I try to allow those feelings of, oh, I got unlucky a bit, to like process it for myself. But then I try to not care about them at all, because it's not going to help me for the next round. And in this round, I already noticed myself becoming a little bit tilted, because yeah, I can acknowledge this isn't a good matchup. My opponent did have some very good answers for my threats that lined up very well, maybe above average. But in the end, it didn't really matter. So when I walked to the bathroom before the next round, I noticed this and I was like, okay, I need to stop now. This just happened, and the next round will come. So I need to stop caring about it. Anyway, then round 4 happened. I played against Tom Escoffier, very good player. He made top 4, I believe, at Pro Tour Singapore with Slippy. So, well, he knows how to play Assassin. And we played the Mirror. We played a kind of an interesting game as to, like, it wasn't an aggro race. Like, it started out like that. But at some point, I flicked my last clave to push through a Mark of the Black Widow on hit, and then it would get go again into Leave No Witnesses, which left him at 4, but it did mean I didn't have a clave anymore, and I just had my Graphene. But I knew I had 2 up sticks and run in deck, so I could draw them next turn or turn after, and I would be fairly okay. But that didn't happen, so the game turned into kind of a more fatiguey game, since we both had to block. He also flicked his last clave a bunch of times. And we needed to respect each other's attack reactions the whole time. Now, in the end, I didn't find my upsticks and run soon enough. So I couldn't do any strong turns anymore. He still had his toxins in deck, so I had to over-respect them at some points. And I think he finished the game with a Kiss of Death or something. It was a really good game. But yeah. Also here, I just noticed like, oh, I didn't find my upsticks and run when I flicked my last clave. Like, that may be true, but it doesn't help me. So, it can also be very hard to notice what went wrong in your games. Because, yeah, it may seem like a blur. Like, if I had to recall the game, I can recall some scenarios, but, like, I can't recall anything, right? So, what I noticed from this game, a friend was watching, Gabe Schur, and he said after the game, like, I blocked in a weird spot, because I thought, because Tom attacked me with Pain in the Backside, and Pain in the Backside on hit deals 1 damage with a dagger, but he also had flick knives, and it would deal exactly lethal damage with and the flick knives and the Pain in the Backside on hit. But the Pain in the Backside on hit doesn't go through if you flick your last clave, and I didn't notice that. And first, like, this is a very good practical example of what happened. First, when Gabe told this to me, I was a bit annoyed. Like, I had 2 losses, like 1 more loss and I'm out of day 2, and I can't lose any more games to make top 8. So I was a bit like rattled. So when Gabe came to me, I said like, sorry, I need to process a bit. But then after I said like, what did you say? And then he said this exact thing, and I was like, oh no, I didn't even notice that. So it was clear that I don't know if that would have made the difference, but I made a mistake there, which I otherwise wouldn't have seen. So that just goes to show that in a lot of games, your emotions might cloud your judgment totally. So it's very important to stay stoic. Anyway, that game was done with. I was 2-2 now. I needed to win all 3 other rounds to still make it. Then I played Anthony Vinas, Vernon's. I managed to win that game, so 3-2, okay. Then against another Paul Legues. He played KO. And in this game, I started with my Graphene and my opponent marked. And I had a Stains of the Redback attack reaction that gives a stealth attack +3. And I arsenaled it, and I had the Mark of the Black Widow left in my hand. And then I drew my hand up, and it was like Scar Tissue, Kiss of Death, and another Stains of the Redback Red. My opponent, I rolled into Trapdoor even, so I had a really good start, starting with a Graphene and a Trap in Banish Zone. And my opponent played a Command and Conquer, which is kind of annoying when you have a Trap in Banish Zone, but it is what it is. I wanted to do a Kiss of Death turn with Go again, then Mark of the Black Widow, and then flick the Kiss with the Scar Tissue on it so the opponent would stay marked. Like, I had this in my mind, I wanted to do this, because it is very good. Anyway, I block with 2 armor pieces and a 3 block. I did this exact turn. My opponent did a wild ride turn afterwards. Then I did a very big turn afterwards as well, with ending with a codex, and I started with a cut from the same cloth, and I saw he had 2 blood rush, a blue, and a swing big. So I thought, okay, this turn will be very good, so I need to disrupt. I wasn't able to because my opponent still had armor up, so he couldn't block my Mark of the Black Widow with it. And then after that, I was just very much behind. I did the same thing as I did in Calling London, where I just blocked out and passed the turn. However, this time my opponent didn't just send an attack for 5. He had a Wild Ride into a Claw, into a Red Bear Fangs, and I just died, and that was my tournament. So, after this tournament, of course, I was a bit distraught, especially since the last few tournaments have gone so well for me. It's a bit of a low when you don't make day 2. But in the end, it was okay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the last round. If I see a Vincent, I'm gonna test my new Talisman of Cremation tech. But if not, I'm just gonna concede because I'm a bit tired. And I wasn't, so I conceded. So my final score was 3 and 4. So, the day that this happens, it's okay to feel a little bit sad and a little bit distraught and maybe even a little bit tilted that things didn't go in your way. But after talking with people about the games, I noticed that even in the last game I also made a mistake where I could just have also blocked with 2-3 blocks and just send a disruptive attack and block more versus KO, so it doesn't happen that I get run over. I don't know if this is the 100% correct play, but it is something I could have done better. So yeah, like I'm noticing I sound a bit vague, but the point I'm trying to make is that while it's okay to let your emotions come up a little bit, you have to know that they won't bring anything useful, because you'll just bargain with you'll just bargain with the truth essentially, and try to suit yourself into saying that you did nothing wrong. Well, that will not improve you at all. So now, after reflecting on it, and I can look back on it without emotions, is now it happened, like I'm okay with it. You get to you notice way more things where like, wait a minute, I could have done that better. Wait a minute, I could have done that better. Like it was funny today in the shower. Actually, I was thinking a bit about my games, and I was like, oh, I don't know what it was especially, but I was like, oh, that's a small thing that maybe wasn't good. And as long as you can do that reflection of being harsh on yourself and even seeing the most small inaccuracy as maybe game losing, that can really help you become better. So yeah, anyway, that was my tournament run. Let's take a look a bit about at the metagame. I showed it a bit already. Here was the day 2 conversion rate. So Mario did very well. Verdance for once did very well, normally doesn't. But yeah, finally did very well. And Auxilio, KO, Dashio, Vincent. Now, I took the conversion rate. This looks a bit like what I had in mind. I should have put Vincent way higher than she is now, but yeah. I think I was still quite accurate in my meta prediction. It was just the gameplay mistakes that I think cost me a lot here. Yeah, like I said, it also was an uphill battle, but yeah, that doesn't help me. So I'll just look at the mistakes I made like that. Also, one thing that I reflect on a bit after the tournament is the whole fact that I'm willing to put these cards in my deck already shows a lot. It's that I became a little bit bored with the metagame and I just wanted to try something cool and new. Like, this might be very bad versus Vincent. So when I noticed this, I'm noticed like, okay, if I'm really that bored that I start to do like weird stuff that maybe won't increase my win rate percentage, then maybe I just need a break. And taking a break might be good now because Slay the Spire 2 just came out. I know a lot of people in the Flesh and Blood community like that. So yeah, that's also totally okay. And in the end, the tournament was very fun. Like, not making day 2, I did the showdown. I also did very poorly in the showdown. I went 1-3, so nothing there. But not going far in the tournament allowed me to walk through the tournament hall a bit more, talk to people a bit. I spoke with some viewers of the channel, which was really fun. I met some people that read my article from TCG Player. I'll put that in the description as well, by the way. And they really liked it. So it was actually very fulfilling to also take a look around and was like, oh, the community is so great. Like, why am I sad? This is just fun weekend anyway. And like, we went to dinner with Kashi and friends. Gabe, Mark, Jaap, Samet, Michael Jesker joined us for this dinner as well. Was just a really fun dinner with my team. Table 1, we had some nice drinks, so it wasn't all bad. It was very fun. So yeah, just try to take that from the tournament. If you don't make day 2, it can be easy to see the whole tournament as a failure, or like but yeah, it isn't, because you had a lot of fun as well. So just take the things that you think will make you a better player and try to move past it. So yeah, the top 8, of course, was very cool, very interesting. Fatigue decks are rising up more in the meta, like we see Victor, Pleiades, Huntsman, Dio seems to be a real threat. Varus Havens always doing well with Dio, it seems. Alessio Bucco made it with Auxilio. Teammate of mine, Francesco Giorgio, made it with KO. And the most fun thing is Leo Toulouse. The guy named after the tournament won the whole tournament. So in general, for Flesh and Blood community, this was a great weekend. Yeah. So just I wanted to show Leo Toulouse won. A friend of mine, Sammy Wex, won the showdown. He's a really good player, but this is his first actual win of an event. So I was really excited for him as well. Just a lot of great things happening, and I don't have to succeed myself to try and be happy as well. Alright, so this was a bit of a more chaotic video. I won't promise there will be a video next week, since I'm noticing that I'm a bit burnt out with the game, like I said. But I'll try to, of course, and I hope this video still has some useful things in it that you can take and improve with it yourself. I'll put the Decklist link and the article from TCG Player link below in the video description. Was nice to have met a lot of you in Toulouse, and I'll try to make a video next week. Later.